All right, guys, good morning. My name is Chris Allen. I'm going to be your calculus teacher this year. Just to give you an idea of what we're going to do, you already successfully completed the first task, which was to find your seat, and I talked to you very briefly. I'm going to do a little brief introduction about myself just to give you some insight to me. We're going to try to get into Canvas and look at the syllabus to see what you're going to be asked to do, how you're going to be graded and things like that. I'm going to get you onto the online textbook, and then I have to show you a school video. I think last period you watched one on going to the restroom. So I'm not sure how exciting this one is, but it'll hopefully be just as exciting. And if we got time after that, we'll play a game. Okay? Sound good? Okay. And by the way, there's no homework today. There's no homework today. So we'll worry about homework next week. And I need my little clicker. And you are Jaden, I bet.
Yep.
How you doing, sir? You're right here.
Okay.
Seat number 7. Welcome. Do you have a Red Hot Chili Peppers face mask?
Yeah.
Wow. You know, I saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers twice, and I saw them once with the Foo Fighters. Are you a Chili Peppers fan?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So a little bit about myself. There's my picture. How many of you get parent squared messages? Anybody see my parent squared message? I just sent that out to kind of give you guys a face to go with the name and talk a little bit about the class. So my professional background is I actually started in 1997, and I taught at Southport Middle School. I actually student taught here, but there were no job openings at that point, so I taught at Southport Middle for 4 years. I coached football there, and then in the year 2000, I had my son, Alec, or I didn't, my wife did. But anyway, so I got out of that, and then I ended up getting the job here. My first full year here was 2001, I think. This is my 20th year here, 20th year, which is kind of hard to believe. This year I'm teaching AP Calculus AB, BC, and Geometry. Oh, do you guys know what that is?
The gold brick.
The gold brick. You guys heard anything about the gold brick? Okay. It's a special thing when you get the gold brick in this class. Those are the students that actually made my first gold brick. Currently, my roles here is obviously I teach math. I'm also the department chair, so I basically oversee students, but I also oversee all the math teachers and do things like scheduling, textbooks, all kinds of stuff. I'm also the school webmaster. That might sound really impressive. It's really not that impressive because there's very little they allow me to change on the website. It used to be pretty cool, but I'm not saying it's a bad job. It's just I don't have a lot of freedom anymore when it comes to web design. Personal life. I have 3 kids and a wife. That's my wife, Meg. That's my son, Alec. He's 20, and that's my daughter, Amaya. She's 18. And I just recently, this last year in December, we just had another boy. His name's Henry. He's 7 months old. He just started crawling, and I've enjoyed spending a lot of time with him. So I graduated from Southport High School. Don't hold that against me. I got my Bachelor of Science in Mathematics from Purdue University. I went to IUPUI, but the degree is from Purdue. And then just this last spring, I got my master's degree in mathematics. So I know some math, okay? Do you guys hear I'm a bodybuilder? Have you guys ever heard that? So in case you don't believe me, let's see if this works. Didn't work last period either. Okay, it's not going to work. There's a picture of me bodybuilding, but yes, I've bodybuilded for a long time. I'm not sure really why that's not working right now. Oh, there it goes. So that's me from 2018. My first contest was in 1990 when I was 18 years old, and that was 2018, and I won the Mr. Natural Indiana. Natural means I didn't use any steroids or anything like that. That's me. Okay, so that's just a little bit about me. Now, you guys are probably more interested in learning about the class, so let's go ahead and get out of that. So get your Chromebooks out. And let's go to your Canvas page. Canvas page. Okay, so here's my Canvas page. So you can see it's got my name, it's got my email address, and it's got my phone number. So the phone number's there. If you call it, though, it's going to go to voicemail. Your best bet's probably sending me an email. Let's go to syllabus. What time do we get? Okay. So here's all the information about calculus that I feel is important for you to know at this point. Here's how you can communicate to me. The number one thing that you need to be doing when you're like, oh my gosh, what are we doing in class this week, is you need to go to Canvas. This is where you'll find the information that you need. This is where I'm going to post stuff as much as possible. There's my email address, which I made a little comment about. If you send me an email after 3:30, I may not get to it till the next day. And then Parent Squared, you guys got that message yesterday. I'm not going to do Parent Squared very often, but when I do it, it's going to be like I send it to all of you guys, all my other classes, and all the parents. So it was kind of a, hey, here I am type of stuff. I'm not going to send tons of Parent Squared stuff. So Canvas is the main thing, and then there's my phone number. Please communicate with me, particularly if we go remote. If we go full remote, then obviously communication becomes even a bigger deal. By the way, who's excited about being in class today? Okay, I am so fired up. It's like last year, man, when it ended, it was March 12th, I think it was the last day. It's like it's been a long time, so I'm fired up. So I hope you are too. If you're nervous and worried about stuff, I get it. I am too a little bit, but I'm excited to have students in my class. Okay, so what are we going to do first semester? Here's my goal for this semester. Now, notice that semester 1, I have chapter 4 and chapter 4 in both semesters. Because why would that be? We're not going to get all the way through that. Now, I'm hoping that we can get up to 4-4, but we'll see how it goes. This has been an interesting year, and so I'm not, this is my goal. I want to get through all of this stuff. In fact, if you looked at last year's syllabus, you'll notice that there was something up above this that I removed, and that would be the review stuff. We're not reviewing. We don't have time. It's either we're going to learn calculus or we're not going to get done, so we're going to learn calculus. Anyways, so that's that. To be successful, I expect you to be here in class, whether that's in class or virtually.
Excuse the interruption. This is for freshmen.
Okay. I'm not going to read all of this stuff to you. Like student behavior, I don't think there's going to be any issue. Do you? I don't think there's going to be any issue with that. I do want to mention cell phones. Like, don't worry about it. If you got your cell phone out, I don't care. The only time I will really care about a cell phone is if we're doing like an assessment, like a quiz or a test. I don't expect to see you on your cell phone during the period at all in general, but if you text someone or something, your mom's texting, I don't care, as long as you're not like using like it's something, does that make sense? I don't know what to say. Look, my cell phone's there. I'm probably not going to be using it, but if I get a text in class while you guys are working on an activity, you guys probably aren't going to get mad at me, right? I'm not going to get mad at you. The only exception is if we're testing or something like that. Okay, so just be reasonable. Let's see here. Student behavior. Okay, we already talked about that. Okay, grades. So classwork could be in class or virtual. Homework, quizzes, and tests. No big surprise, right? So classwork would be, hey, we're working on an activity in class, and then I collect it, and by the way, if you do the classwork, usually guess what score you're going to get on it? You're going to get like a perfect score, right? Moses, right? So we're doing an activity today. Moses does the activity. Moses, you got all the points. Great. Homework. If you do your homework, guess what? As long as you meet 85% of the problems done, 85% of the points, which we'll talk about in a minute, you're going to get an A+ on that. So these two grades are formative, and I would say that those are like you're just doing what you normally do. This should be A's in general. Okay? Now, if you're not doing stuff, like if you don't do homework, that could be a bad thing, right? Because then those A's become F's. So make sure you get your homework done. Quizzes. I'm not sure how we're going to do that. So if you're here in class, it's going to be like what I always do. I feel like I need to see your work, and you guys do work on paper, and I do math on paper, and then you turn it in and I grade it. If we go all remote, then I'm going to have to try to figure out if I'm going to do quizzes on Canvas, which I guess would have to be like multiple choice or something. I don't know. So we'll see. But, and facts quizzes. At a certain point in this class, there are things that you are just going to have to know. And those are called facts quizzes. And so what might happen is you might come to class one day and I'll just say, take everything off your desk. These are the only pop type quizzes I give. And I'll forewarn you, we'll practice it. It won't be just like out of the blue. But I'll say, take everything off your desk, and there'll be 10 questions on derivatives. What's the derivative of sine? And you'll say cosine x. You don't know that yet, but you'll learn that. Okay? If we are remote, am I going to do facts quizzes? I don't think so. It would be a good grade for you, I would think. But anyways, tests, you guys get tests. Tests will hopefully be AP style, but again, if we go full remote, I'm going to probably have to get creative there. Final exam is supposed to be 15%. They're talking about changing it to 20, which I would be okay with, but I don't know if that's official or not. I'll let you know. Textbook, we'll talk more about that in a minute. That's going to be Ron Larson's book. Here's just a little note about if we go remote. Obviously, I'm going to try to be a little bit more lenient on things. Here's the grading scale, no big surprise. But over here, if you need some extra help, you can stay after school. You could use the advisory period, aka Blue 63. Please, I'll send out a form on Canvas to show you the form to do that. Next week, you guys won't be leaving Blue at all, or advisory at all. Or during the remote office hours, which is Wednesday, and then if we go full remote, I think it's still Wednesday. I can't remember. Anyways, here's more stuff. I'm going to talk about these guys here. These guys here are very helpful for your. Let's just do it right now. This Calc View, guess what that is? That's videos of them doing your actual homework problems. There's a teacher that explains exactly in great detail how to do problem number 17, let's say, in your textbook. So those could be helpful. You're like, I can't understand what Mr. Allen did today. Well, maybe watch something on Calc View. Calc Chat. Now, Calc Chat, if I give you traditional homework problems out of a textbook, Calc Chat is all the answers worked out. All the odd question answers worked out. Okay, so those are some things that might be options for you to get some help. Any questions on this syllabus stuff? Okay, good. How are we doing on time? We're doing great. Okay, let's go back to course. And now let's try to get into your online textbook. So, not course. I'm already where I want to be. I want to go to modules. Okay, now here's what I noticed last period. I screwed this up. When you guys go to modules, is there anything available right now? Okay, didn't think so. So this is the part that I need to figure out. You actually have to click that, and you have to click that, and that's okay. Now you can see everything for not only today, but next week. Okay? Let's focus on WebAssign right now, okay? Because this is how I want you to get to your textbook. Can you guys get to the how to access WebAssign? Now let me show you. Let's go to this second one first, actually. Do you mind going to that second one there first, where it says WebAssign class key? This is what you will need to join my class, okay? And we can play the game together if you guys don't mind. Let's play the game together. I'm going to open up a different browser. Let's see here. You have Firefox on here? Yes. I'm going to open up Firefox. And I'm going to go to webassign.net. I'm going to cancel there. Oh boy. It may not let me do this. Okay. All right, Firefox ain't going to work. I'll just have to do it on here. Okay, so you'll come to this page. What option are you going to pick?
Enter class key.
Enter class key. And that's where you're going to use, hopefully this is it. This is the key you're going to use. How many of you have used WebAssign before? Anybody? Okay, good. That's actually good. If you've already used it, then you've already got a username and password. And now here's where I'm going to pause the video here. Now, if you are a student that's watching this remotely, you could also click this first link. This is the PDF that will give you instructions on how to access WebAssign online. And this obviously goes for you guys too, in case you forget. But remember, the big thing is create one account and then make sure you know your username and password. Okay, we don't want to get duplicate accounts. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do now is I think we're done with this. Actually, let me show you how to do that. You guys are on WebAssign, right? Let me see if I can log in. Let me show you how to get to the textbook. You guys would probably like to see that. Okay, I'm going to go into student view. So I think this is you guys here. So let's see here, class view. That's how I do that. And I'm going to pick a class, which is you guys. And do you guys have an assignment there sitting?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And let's see here. I think it's open. Okay, you don't have this though, right? Okay. Why is it not doing my question? I'm going to come over here to the computer. There you go, student view. Sorry. Okay, over here on the right, if you scroll down, I know you guys are all probably thinking, okay, Mr. Allen, we can figure that out. I just want to make sure you guys can get to it. Can you guys do that?
What says access was denied?
What's it say?
Access denied.
Okay. Interesting. Great. Okay, I'm going to pause this for now. So let's get out of that. Okay, so let's get out of that for a second. And is this how your book looks?
Yeah.
Does it look kind of like this? Can you guys answer me this? Can you click on this? Does that work?
Yeah.
Does this show up? Awesome. Okay, so that's good. So I'm going to stop with that for now because we're winning something. I do want you guys to be able to get to the textbook online, but let's go ahead now and come back to the modules if you don't mind. I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to get out of. I'll leave that. Yeah, I'll leave that up. So let me explain what you guys are going to need to do by next Friday. Not tomorrow, but next Friday. So if you read my Parent Squared message, I basically said, hey, I'm doing a flipped model this year. The reason I'm doing a flipped model is because I'm only seeing I see you guys once a week. This semester, I will see you 16 times. And that's assuming we don't go full remote. That's about 4 weeks in a normal year. A month. That's not very often. Okay, so I've got to somehow make this work. That's going to put a lot of the lifting on your backs. Okay, and I'm sorry about that. So what you're going to do is this. Oops, I don't want that. Okay, so I've got a video right here. I'm not going to show it to you right now. You can watch it later. You could watch it next week if you want. There's a video that I created, and I think I did it in my kitchen. It's about 10 minutes long. You watch it, it's probably not great. It's okay, but it's me trying to teach you some stuff, okay? If you want the notes for that video, they're right there. Here's the PDF of the notes. This is the exact thing I go through. And this first section, 1.1, is no big deal. It's called a preview of calculus. Honestly, it's not anything I'm even going to, I'm not even going to probably test you or anything on it. Okay, it's just to show you the difference between pre-calculus and calculus. What is the difference? And by the way, there's a very important difference. Then here it says extra video example. Do you have to watch that extra video example? You do not have to watch it. You could watch it if you'd like to. Then let's go to this next one. Here's another video. I'm not going to do it right now. This is actually, I think that's a video. I didn't write the video there. Let me see if that's a video. Yeah, it's a YouTube video. So here's another YouTube video of me. This one's longer, sorry. I'm trying to keep them to 10 minutes or less. This one's 14 minutes, so there's my kitchen if you want to see my kitchen. Okay. Again, the notes are there if you want to have the notes for yourself. And then here's another extra video that you do not have to watch. But you might want to watch it because you're like, wow, he went really fast on some of those things. I don't really know what he's talking about. Then you're going to go right here. It says extra practice problems. Do you have to do those? You do not. Anything that says extra is extra. Do you have to do WebAssign?
Yes.
Yes. I would recommend that you don't do WebAssign until you've done this stuff up here. If you still feel like, oh my gosh, I don't understand what I'm doing, could you Google or go onto YouTube and say, how do I find limits graphically or numerically? Of course. All right. And then I've got a little exit ticket down here. This is kind of a formative assessment just to get in fact, let me just look at that real quick. So after you've done all this stuff, I just want you guys to tell me, like I have a couple of simple questions. How comfortable were you with the lesson? Which concepts do you think you need more help understanding? What could I do to make it more effective? Because I'm learning this stuff just like every other teacher is in this building too. Okay. Let's go back to modules. Okay. All right, I think that's it. Does that kind of make sense? And you have the whole week to do that, starting today until Friday the 14th, I think it is. And I think there's 11 problems on the WebAssign. I think it's 11. I can't remember. Does anyone remember? Did anyone see it? It shows on the. Here, I can find out. 11. Okay, 11. There's 11 problems. But be careful. Some of them aren't always easy. Sometimes 11, if you get stuck on one, it gets frustrating. Any questions? And I haven't even started this one yet, this module. So I made all of this up. Okay, and I'm not wanting you to go, ooh, wow, look at Mr. Allen make it. I'm just letting you know, I'm invested in the class. I love teaching calculus and teaching math. Does anyone have any questions for me?